Okay, we're set for part 2, solving a quadratic equation using the quadratic formula. Remember in part 1, we solved this equation here, and we came up with complex solutions. So these are non-real solutions. So let's take a look at this example here. So our success criteria, step 1, remember, is to make sure we're in standard form. I'm going to go ahead and abbreviate here, standard form. Step 2, we're going to identify our a value, which is the coefficient on the x squared, our b value, and our c value. Step 3, we're going to go ahead and substitute those in and determine the discriminant. So let's do that first. So the discriminant, remember, is b squared minus 4ac. So let's go ahead and plug those numbers in. We'll do that right here. So we're going to have -8. Always put negative numbers in parentheses. -8 squared minus 4 times the a value times the c value. Okay, doing the math. Notice we only have one negative here, so it's going to be negative. If it's an odd number of negatives, it's going to be minus. If it's an even number of negative, it's going to be plus. So continuing on here, 64 minus 16, we're going to get 48. Okay, so what does that tell us? So looking back at our rules, if the discriminant is greater than 0, we have two distinct real number solutions. Okay, so that means that we're going to have real solutions. It's going to be in the family of all real numbers. And so our two options that we've learned about are either rational or irrational. Well, this number is not a perfect square, so it's going to fall into this category here. Remember, only perfect squares, okay? Because remember, we're going to be putting that in here and square rooting it. Only perfect squares are going to come out to be rational. 48 is not a perfect square, so it's going to be an irrational solution. So we're going to have two irrational solutions. Okay, so step 4, we're going to use the quadratic formula now. So following the formula, x equals negative, okay, plugging in b, which is -8. Plugging in our discriminant, 2 times a, which is 1. So now we have a little formula here that we need to simplify. This is what we've been doing in our warm-ups, simplifying this. So we need to simplify our answer. I hope this short little step-by-step is helping you. It was recommended by our very own T. Ravis. So shout out to you, T. Ravis. So here we go, -1 times -8. 48 is going to break down to, let's see, 16 times 3. There's our perfect square. Continuing to simplify, square root of 16 is 4. Then breaking this into two fractions, we have 8 over 2. plus 4 radical 3 over 2. Other solution, breaking it into two fractions, this time using the minus. And simplifying further, 4 divided by 2 is 2. 4, 2. Remember, you cannot divide these, only these. And there is our solution set. And again, we already know it's irrational. Okay, let's move on to another example. Okay, we're going to jump right into this one. We're going to try to solve this quadratic equation. Remember, it's quadratic because the degree of the polynomial is 2. And that just means that's the largest exponent in the problem. And so we're going to have two solutions because of that. Other things, just as a review, it's opening down. It's a vertical stretch because the a value is greater than 1. And we have a y-intercept of 0, negative 18. Okay, let's go ahead and do the discriminant right off the bat. B squared minus 4 times A times C. Okay, doing the math, we are going to end up with, if you see here, we have 144. 1, 2, 3. 3 negatives, it's going to end up being minus. And then, let's see, 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 18. If you don't know it, just do it off to the side. 144. So our discriminant is 0. Looking back, we have, if the discriminant equals 0, then we have a repeated real number solution. So it's going to be the same number twice. And when you have a repeated real number solution, you're going to have a rational number. So repeated real number solution, and it's going to be rational. Remember, a rational number is a number that can be put into a fraction format. Okay, going to our quadratic formula, plugging in our b, our discriminant, and our a value. Simplifying, this is negative 1 times 12, and this is 0. So when it's 0, basically that all goes away. Over negative 4, 2 times negative 2. And so our repeated real number solution is going to be 3. Okay, so we have a root or a solution of x equals 3, and it is rational. So if I was to sketch this real quick, our solution is at 3. So there's my root. My a value is negative 2, so I would go to the left 1, down 2. To the right 1, down 2. And so I have 3 points. Remember, 3 points is all you need to make a parabola. Okay, hope that was helpful. See you all in class.